So this is John Goddard again. You may remember me from a couple of months ago. I'm the chair of the Finance Council, and I gave you an update to try and help you understand how we were progressing in a financial sense through the first stages of the pandemic. I mentioned there that periodically I'd come back to you and update you a bit. So that's what I'm going to do in these next few minutes. So let me start with a really great place. Thank you very, very much for your continued financial support. As we've entered the new fiscal year that began in July, I'm happy to say that in all three communities, your financial support remains very strong. In Sacred Heart and in OLPH, we're close to where we were last year and a little bit higher than the budget that we projected, which is a wonderful position to be in when you start a new fiscal year. In Holy Rosary, we're not quite that robust, but trending in pretty much the same direction. And I also am eager to share with you some information about online giving, but I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes because I have some other things to discuss there. So next, let's move on to a couple of new members to our council. John Gatto is joining us to represent OLPH along with Pat Hayes. John is the president of Crestone Development. And at Holy Rosary, Kathleen Gates, who is a dentist, will be joining us to represent Holy Rosary along with Paula Levy. So we've already welcomed them, and they've been participants in a recent meeting. But if you see them when you're in church, by all means, say hello and thank them for volunteering their experience and their expertise and taking time out of what are two very busy schedules. If you've been around Sacred Heart recently, you'll notice there's a lot of activity, a lot of trucks and hoists and things that are involved in moving the materials up on the roof that will be used to replace the roof. So that expensive but necessary project, I mentioned before, it's well over $100,000, is underway and should be completed in the next few weeks, so we can check that off our list. More good news from my perspective anyway is the great progress we're making at the fundraising for the ramp and deck and ADA accessible bathroom project at OLPH. The fundraiser recently held for candles raised nearly $7,000, which is kind of amazing. And by the end of the month, we'll have completed the application for the grant to History Colorado. History Colorado is very interested in what we're trying to do and a potentially large contributor or donator to that effort. So keep your fingers crossed there. Along those same lines, in October, we will be meeting once again with the designer, the architect of the plans for the Andre Bessette Meeting House. And we'll be discussing whether it's the right time to put those plans out for bid for construction. As you know, this meeting house is a real high priority that we've put on the back burner for a couple of months during the early stages of the pandemic. But we're eager to get it back on the front burner if we can, because we want to complete it by July of 2022 when we have the centennial celebration for Sacred Heart's founding. So I'll have more to report on that later, but in anticipation of this next meeting in October with the architect, we have a subcommittee set up for the Finance Council to begin thinking through how we might do the fundraising for that. So certainly we'll have more on that later. Finally, let me close with a reminder that last time we talked, I implored you to consider online giving so that our offertory can be more regularly anticipated. And I told you that that was your online giving was a relatively small part of our total giving, and asked you if you would consider increasing that. And I gave us an overall target of about 50%. Well, you really listened, and I can't thank you enough for considering that. As a matter of fact, Sacred Heart, which was about 25% last year over the last several months is now up to 46%. So we're real close to the 50 and really heading in a wonderful direction. So those of you that have done this already, thanks a million. Those of you haven't, if you could reconsider again and either partially or wholly put your weekly offertory online, that would be terrific. At OLPH, which had a high 40% before, they're up to 60. And at Holy Rosary, which didn't have much online giving at 10%, is now up to 35. So thanks again for all of you. And if you can continue to push us over 50%, that would be much appreciated. And to help you, we've developed a new tool under the leadership of KC Krumpak, our business manager. We haven't developed, but we've adapted an application that you can put on your phone that will allow you to make a contribution either every week or every month routinely or on a special occasion. If you got a big bonus and wanted to give part of that to the future Andre Bissett campaign, then it would allow you to do that while you're thinking about it. So I'm going to stop now and turn the podium, so to speak, over to KC so she can walk you through how easy it is to use, and you can determine whether that's something that might be helpful to you. Okay? By all means, leave a message for me if you have any questions. And otherwise, I'll be back to you in a couple months and let you know how we're progressing. Thanks again for all your support.
Hi everyone, I'm KC Krumpak. I'm the business manager at Sacred Heart Parish, and I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of how to do our new online giving app. The first thing that you'll need to do, of course, is to download the app on your device. So it may be different depending on what device you're using. The name of the app is called Ministry One, and one is spelled out O-N-E. Once you have gone ahead and downloaded that app, it should come up as a little cross on your screen. And when you're putting in the church name, you're going to want to put in Sacred Heart Parish, and that will be for all 3 churches. Once you've downloaded it again, you'll just be able to find it on your device. So I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like, and again, it may look a little different on your device. On mine, it comes up as cross. So once I click on the cross, it'll say welcome, and it'll say Sacred Heart Parish, and you'll have some different tabs here. The tab that we're mainly concerned with is the giving tab, so we'll go ahead and click on that. And once you open up, you'll see it's got our logo here, and it has a little note from Father Ron, and then down here it'll have my donation. So the first thing you want to do is choose a fund. So you simply click on choose a fund, and this here is where it's going to bring up the different churches. It'll have the Sacred Heart, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, and Holy Rosary. So let's say we're going to go ahead and do a donation to Our Lady of Perpetual Help. You'd simply click on that. Oops, let's try that again. No, there it is. So it comes up Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Then you want to choose a sub-fund. This here is where you get to choose if you want to do it for the offertory, if you're wanting to do it for the ramp project, what's going on, or the different second collections that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the building fund or the ramp fund. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our dollar amount. So we click on dollar amount, and I'm feeling generous today, so I'm going to do 150. So there we go. So then once we do that, it'll tell you the amount that's due. Down here it says total due 150. Now at this point I can go ahead and make it a reoccurring donation. If I do that, if I click on that, it's then going to ask me to set up an account. But we're not going to do that. So I'm going to cancel that. So down here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select my payment type. So now at this point I get to choose if I want to use a credit card or if I want to use my bank account. So I'm going to go through both of those. So if we click on credit card, you can either scan your credit card, but we're going to say no. If you do that, then it's going to ask you for your credit card information. You'd simply put it in and then hit submit. If I'm using the bank account, it'll do the same thing. It'll just simply ask for your routing information, bank number, and you click submit. Once that's done, it'll go ahead and do your donation. Once you have made a donation for the first time, you will get a welcome email, and then you'll also get a thank you email. Each time you donate after that, you'll always get a thank you email that you'll be able to print out and keep for your records for tax purposes. If you do decide to sign up, you can go ahead and print out reports from our system as well. So we thank you so much for taking this opportunity to view our video and see how another way that you can give to the church. We thank you for your generosity and have a blessed day.